Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
And I'm Greg Lloyd. Amanda and I thank you for watching WGXA News at 5:30. We're taking a look at our top stories tonight. Where are your kids? It's the question many are asking as more and more Macon's youth find themselves behind bars. Last month, 8 kids were arrested for stealing cars in Macon. What the Council on Criminal Justice calls a keystone crime, or a crime that opens the door to more violent offenses. One county commissioner who was the victim of these thefts says that parents and guardians need to take a closer look at what their kids are doing when they leave the house.
And Sirius Academy Charter is focusing on solving the violations the State Charter Schools Commission notified them of back in August. The school has already addressed several concerns and has a plan in place to recruit more board members. The only thing left to do, consolidate the 2 different versions of the operating budget into one for the school's 2 CFOs.
And the long closed target on Presidential Parkway is coming down. Demolition crews were on the scene today to start the project. The store officially closed down back in 2018 after a Target spokesperson cited decreasing profitability as the reason for the closure.
Download the WGXA News app or go to WGXA.tv for more on today's top stories. His nomination to be the Democrat on the 2024 ticket looks to be a sure thing, especially as the incumbent, but President Biden is facing a series of headwinds that are making his re-election bid more difficult these days.
Amanda, from an impeachment inquiry to his son being indicted, President Biden is hoping for some good news to pave the way to another 4 years. Tonight, Chief Political Correspondent Scott Thuman looks at what's all in the way.
Should Hunter get a pardon, Mr. President?
Besieged with questions about his son, Hunter Biden's indictment, the president's problems piling up.
And would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before, and I was very clear, and I said no.
The criminal gun charges follow House Republicans' decision to start an impeachment inquiry into the president for still unproven allegations he engaged in inappropriate or possibly illegal overseas business dealings with his son. More troubling, indicators his support is very soft. 51% of Democrats who plan to vote for Biden in the primary say they might change their mind, even though he's not currently facing a strong opponent. After 4 years of fact-checking Donald Trump's false claims, the media now pointing out Biden's too, most recently stating he was in New York City the day after 9/11.
This president has a pattern at this point of either inventing or embellishing stories about his own past.
Like previously claiming he witnessed a Pennsylvania bridge collapse, was arrested in a civil rights protest, visited a mass shooting site, even drove an 18-wheeler for a job. Biden's saving grace, though, could be an economic rebound.
For the first time in a long time, we've climbed out of our great economic crisis.
A potential political lifeline, since voters often let their pocketbooks lead the way. But if so-called Bidenomics takes a turn for the worse, so could his 2024 chances.
Bidenomics isn't working, but it's making working families put in more overtime.
Whether it's the economy or his age, Biden is taking hits. But when it comes to the impeachment inquiry, Democrats are hoping that'll fail, reflect poorly on Republicans, and give Biden the boost he sorely needs. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
Hunter Biden's newest legal troubles are causing a buzz on Capitol Hill.
Special counsel David Weiss has indicted the president's son on federal firearms charges. Hunter Biden is accused of lying about his drug use when he bought a gun in 2018. He's acknowledged a previous crack cocaine addiction, and lawmakers have some strong reactions to the new indictment.
That if Hunter Biden, the president's son, committed crimes, he should be held accountable for them. You don't hear any Republicans saying that if Donald Trump committed crimes, he should be held accountable for them.
I'll be honest, I mean, getting Hunter Biden on the gun charge is like getting Jeffrey Dahmer on littering.
Biden is charged with 2 counts of making false statements. A 3rd count alleges he had the gun for about 11 days, despite knowing he was a drug user. The president's son faces up to 25 years in prison if he's convicted. Former President Trump's request for U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan to recuse herself from his 2020 election subversion case is hitting a wall. The Justice Department says there's no valid basis for her to step aside, that there's no proof that she's biased against him. Trump pointed to comments she made while sentencing January 6th riot defendants. The choice is ultimately up to Chutkan.
If Donald Trump is convicted of a crime and elected president again, would he pardon himself?
Well, here's his answer.
You know what? I was given an option to pardon myself. I could have pardoned myself when I left. People said, would you like to pardon yourself? I had a couple of attorneys that said, you can do it if you want. I had some people that said it would look bad if you do it, because I think it would look terrible. I said, the last thing I'd ever do is give myself a pardon.
In an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, Trump says he didn't pardon himself in 2021 and won't pardon himself in 2024 because he doesn't believe he did anything wrong.
The former president has been indicted 4 times this year on charges related to his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election, his handling of classified documents, and his business dealings. He says the charges are all political.
Well, we got off to a rocky start, but you know, it's Friday, which
is,
means
Amanda.
it's Football Friday, which means we have the Blitz later. But as of right now, we can find Ryan Mirando out in Peach County.
We're throwing it off to you, buddy. A long pass.
Greg, Amanda, my worries, they're all gone. It feels like fall out here. I'm so excited. We have a cool breeze out of the east. The sun is finally coming back out, but it really does feel like football weather. We're out here at the Perry at Peach County game, which begins at 7:30. If you're easily chilled, you might even want to grab a sweatshirt. This wind out here is a little cold. We did start pretty rocky this morning. A few heavy downpours, flash flood warnings. At this point, though, most of the rain is going to be dissipating off the farther into the evening we go. So temperature-wise, look at the 75 degrees in Macon, 73 in Fort Valley. This is the coldest day we've really had since the end of May, and this is feeling like mid-October weather right now, 73 degrees in Perry. So for the football games, I think we'll still be pretty dry kickoff time, cloudy, 75 degrees. Temperatures will be staying into the mid-70s with a little bit of that cool breeze out here, mostly cloudy, 70 degrees by the final play. So for the day tomorrow, we will have a few showers and storms in the morning like we did today, but don't think it's going to be as active. A few peaks of sunshine tomorrow afternoon as temperatures struggle to make it out of the 70s, but then another cold front will be coming for the second half of the weekend. I'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. Greg, Amanda, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mirando. Now's a great time to download that WGXA weather app. Just scan the QR code on your screen to download it straight to your smartphone or smart device. Ryan back in less than 20 minutes with your 10-day forecast. The UAW strike at 3 Midwestern plants is expected to have a big economic impact on the auto industry and beyond. It also comes with a high political stakes for President Biden, who's long billed himself as the most pro-union president in history.
Atrel Nashar has a closer look at why this dispute presents extra challenges for the White House.
We are the union! We are the union! The very first United Auto Workers strike against all of the big 3 car makers, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. It's a strike that in just 10 days could cost the economy $5 billion, according to consulting firm Anderson Economic Group. In 2019, GM UAW workers went on a strike that lasted 40 days, which GM says cost them about $3 billion. But it's a very different economy now than it was in 2019. High inflation is keeping consumer sentiment low. New car prices are about 3% higher than they were a year ago. Supply chain disruptions from a strike could only make that worse. The president has been in contact with all negotiating parties, but it's a delicate balance for Biden, who's long said this.
And I'm proud to be the most pro-union president.
The UAW endorsed Biden in 2020, but hasn't said yet if they'll back him in the 2024 race. The president now sending 2 members of his administration to Detroit to assist negotiations.
Let's be clear. No one wants a strike.
He says record corporate profits should result in record contracts for the UAW. Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, whose district is just west of Detroit, wants the president to stay out of the talks.
I do not believe that the Biden administration should intervene in these strikes or these discussions in any way.
Opposite calls coming from industry. Chamber of Commerce CEO Suzanne Clark.
We do think the Biden administration has got to keep both parties at the table.
Clark later called the strike a natural result of the Biden administration's whole-of-government approach to promoting unionization at all costs. Raising the political stakes even higher for the president is the heart of the auto industry being in battleground Michigan. A hit to local economies there could sour voters in this purple state Biden won by about 150,000 votes in 2020. And in 2016, former President Trump won by fewer than 11,000 votes. In Washington, I'm Atrel Nashar reporting.
Hollywood writers and studios are set to start up contract negotiations again next week. According to the studio union, there's no set date yet, and writers have been on strike for 4.5 months over issues like pay and setting standards for artificial intelligence use. Some shows have been on hold or delayed with the strikes, and there are not talks yet planned for negotiations on the actors' strike.
Coming up this week on Full Measure, the first in our series of interviews with 2024 presidential candidates. Vivek Ramaswamy is a wealthy businessman and political outsider. He's promising to attack corruption inside our government and eliminate a long list of federal agencies. We introduced you a while back to two Florida moms who started a grassroots movement combating critical race theory and what they call the racist woke agenda in America's schools. Now we catch up with them again as their voices are being heard on a national stage. And our ever-growing national debt looms ever larger, with neither political party advancing firm plans to resolve it. We speak with one expert who's facing it head-on, all this week on Full Measure.
Well, Tatnall Square Park was full of hundreds of pickleball fanatics as Macon hosts the 3rd annual Georgia Recreation and Park Association Pickleball State Tournament.
Yeah, that tournament, Amanda, started today and will last through Sunday. The county tennis and pickleball manager for Macon Bibb says that the tournament is a great opportunity for players to experience the city of Macon for the first time, and he's had a positive impact on the area.
Pickleball has exploded because it's easy to play. Someone can learn in 10 minutes and they're playing. The economic impact is going to be felt through large tournaments being brought to town and people staying in hotel rooms and restaurants and enjoying Macon and leaving their money here.
Gender doubles will be played all day on Saturday, followed by mixed doubles all day Sunday. Spectators are welcome to come out and enjoy the atmosphere.
It's that time, Central Georgia, to celebrate a Middle Georgia athlete who's getting it done outside the classroom, outside of sports, and making a difference in their community.
That's right. This week, Carlos Stevens introduces us to a Houston County athlete. Carlos joins us live now from Houston County High School to tell us who it is.
Amanda Gregg is Houston County's wide receiver Josh. I'm sorry, I couldn't forget it. I forgot his last name there, but this guy is making a real difference in the community. We're gonna head to the package. Senior wide receiver Josh Henry loves to entertain his community on the field, but what's even more impressive is how he carries his community when he's not on the field. Henry is on the leadership council at his school, and just recently, he and other young men volunteered some time and went to Purdue Elementary School, awarding the little ones during a pep rally for their hard work. It's a moment Henry says he wouldn't change for anything.
You know, we was giving some high fives when they was walking through the door, you know, and they had their little ceremony, you know, and we just was there to cheer them on through it all.
Henry says he hoped the kids take away one thing through his leadership and grind.
Hope they see a bright light through me.
A light Henry's head football coach, Jeremy Edwards, says is shining very bright, and it's noticed.
He goes out to some of our youth practices at the rec department, things like that, and helps out with guys. And they see him, they know who he is, and they want to be him.
Coach Edwards says Henry's drive to help his community is one that will propel him to some great places.
Really feel like anything he chooses to do, he's going to be successful at. He's got such a great attitude, always got a smile on his face.
Henry says his go-get-it mentality is inspired by an NFL star.
I have to say Stephon Diggs. I love his mentality, the way that he just attacks every moment, no matter if it's good, bad, knows how to go around any obstacle.
But the NFL star is not the only one he credits. He had a personal thank you for his other two people.
Thank you for everything you've done. Y'all been great parents, and I love y'all.
And that's your game changer of the week. Congrats, Josh. Central Georgia, you know the deal. Keep the nominations coming. And I also wanted to come back on camera and apologize to Josh for forgetting his last name, Josh Henry. Josh, again, congratulations to you. We're live here in Houston County. I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA Sports.
Carlos, buddy, that happens. Don't you worry about a thing, man. And we appreciate you in that live shot. And Josh, I love the way he thanked his parents. He's a good guy, you can tell. Are you looking for more football? Well, look no further than our Friday night high school football show, The Blitz. We'll be bringing you the latest from all over in high school football team matchups underneath the Friday night lights. We'll be across the mid-state watching games at Central, Northside, Veterans, Peach County, Northeast, Ace, and Mount DeSales high schools. Tune in tonight at 11 right here on ABC 16 for The Blitz.
And it feels like football weather on this Friday night. I'm out here at the Perry at Peach County game. The game begins at 7:30, but as the sun's going down, there's this breeze out of the east. It's actually rather chilling, but it definitely feels like football. Tomorrow's going to be a day like today. A few showers in the morning. I don't think it'll be as active. Clouds breaking for sun in the afternoon, up to 81 degrees. Sunday will be the more active of the 2 days. A cold front will be pushing through, getting us some scattered thunderstorms with a high up to 84. So in terms of the radar right now, most of the rain is actually dissipating out. We could have a stray shower or drizzle through the evening hours, but most of us should be staying dry. Temperature-wise, look at this spectacular 75 in Macon, 73 in Fort Valley, 66 degrees in Eastman, and 74 in Sandusville. This heat and the stress that we've had all this summer, it is just gone. It feels spectacular today. So for the football forecast, if you're easily chilled, you may want to grab a sweatshirt. This breeze out here feels a little chilly. 75 kickoff time, and temperatures will be dropping down into the low 70s by the final play under mostly cloudy skies. So for the day tomorrow, some of those showers in the mornings, very hit or miss. A few breaks of sun by the afternoon as temperatures struggle to make it out of the 70s. On Sunday, it will be more active with a wave of low pressure developing along the front, giving us scattered thunderstorms really throughout the entire day. Very hit or miss still, but that's going to wipe out a lot of the moisture. Next week is looking incredible. Low rain chances, low humidity, and bright sunshine. So check out these dew points Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're in the low 60s and upper 50s. That's that refreshing and pleasant air mass. It's really going to be feeling like fall next week. The summertime humidity looks to be taking a break for a little bit, and I could not be more excited. I don't want to skip over the weekend, but next week, heading back to work and school, mornings will be starting down near 60 degrees and making even a few areas to the north could be starting into the upper 50s, so it may be a little chilly to some of the days next week. But in your 10-day forecast, an AM shower or two tomorrow morning, lots of clouds, breaks of sun by the afternoon, 81 degrees. Sunday will be more active for a few more scattered thunderstorms up to 84, but that's going to knock out all the moisture. A really nice looking forecast next week. Monday, bright sunshine up to 85. Tuesday, lowering humidity 86. Wednesday, comfortably cool, a mixture of sun and clouds up to 85. Thursday, partly cloudy 84. And Friday, a taste of fall with a high of only 83 degrees. Next Saturday, that is the first official day of fall. It's certainly going to be feeling like it. Lastly, of course, here's your Harrison's Body Shop fishing game forecast. Peaks at 3:20 a.m. and 3:40 p.m. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen. I'm here again today at the Humane Society of Houston County in Warner Robins. And as we said yesterday, we normally do dogs on this segment, but we now have a couple of cats we're going to show you. And today we have another cat, Slate. And I'm going to let Dee tell you about Slate.
Well, Slate came in the other day, was in the middle of the road, and we've been getting a lot of the middle of the road, in the ditch, in the dumpster, you name it.
Oh my goodness.
That's what's going on. They're disposable at this point. Got a little growing to do. Our kitties are not available till they're 8 weeks old, so this one's probably breathing down the neck of 5. And
so pretty.
He will be available once we get him bedded and everything done.
Look at that pretty little face, and you said about 5 weeks old now?
Yeah, right at. Yeah.
And when he gets about 8 weeks, we'll be able to be adopted. So if someone wants to go ahead and put their name in and get on the list to adopt Slate when he is 8 weeks old, how would they do that?
They would go on our website and fill out our application process. It does take 7 to 10 days to process. And like I said, you can go ahead and do that and note which animal that you're interested in.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that. Look at this sweet little boy. Look at that beautiful face. Slate. Let's find him a really good home. Thank you so much, Dee.
Thank you.
Well, grab your chips and dip because Saturday is National Guacamole Day. It comes every year on September 16th, and guac makes the perfect, easy, and guilt-free way to spice up some of your favorite foods. It's typically nothing more than avocados, lime juice, tomatoes, onions, and seasoning mixed together. You can use it as a dip or topping for quesadillas or even on a salad. And let's not forget guacamole toast, which has become quite popular in recent years. The main ingredient, of course, the avocado, has surged in popularity in the past couple of decades. A lot of that is due to avocado's reputation as a superfood, since the fruit is loaded with healthy fats and nutrients. Its versatility is a secret the Aztecs in Mexico knew long before we did. So we were just having this conversation before we came back from the break. I actually don't like any kind of avocados or guacamole, but you love them.
I do love them. And Amanda, honestly, when I was in my 20s, I did not, but late 20s, early 30s, I don't know. I've had some avocado dip, guacamole that was so good at one of the restaurants I was at, and I've loved it ever since. I even like to get just the avocados themselves to eat, you know, just because they are healthy, the superfoods. I just love it.
So basically what you're saying is that there may be hope, that I may change my mind.
One day it may just switch. You know how I love coffee, and we were talking about I used to hate coffee. I love it now.
And now you have it 16 times a day.
I really do.
Did I just expose you?
You did. People can probably tell. Well, that's going to do it for WGXA News at 5 o'clock.
We'll see you again at 6 on ABC 16.
Hello, I'm trying to figure out my brightness. I'm so bad at working your camera.
One, two, three.
Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News at 6.